Hello YouTube, my name is Nero, and today we have some Call of Duty Black Ops 3 playing a bit of zombies here on the map The Giant, playing with random people online. I had played this map solo previously, and it was pretty fun solo, but ultimately it was pretty easy. You just go up to the catwalk and then bam, you're pretty much solid once you get your perks, once you get the teleporter set up, and once you get Pack-a-Punch. It's just a pretty easy map in general. You know, it's the same map as Dury's. We've been playing it for a while, so I figured it might be more challenging and more interesting if I were to play it online with random people, and it was. And hopefully you guys will sit back, relax, and enjoy the gameplay while we go over this week's episode of Dear Nero, which of course is the weekly series here on my channel where subscribers send me a fan mail and or fan questions, and I do my best to go and answer them. First and foremost, apologies for not putting this up yesterday. Typically Dear Nero goes up every single Wednesday. Today of course is Thursday. That is because I had an eye appointment yesterday. Yes, I had an eye appointment, and I got some bad news, I suppose. My eyesight has gotten worse over the course of the past couple of years. Growing up, I had like perfect eyesight for whatever reason, like better than perfect. In fact, my eyesight was actually 2015, which apparently is better than 2020. I don't know how that works, but I had 2015 vision, and I could always see really well, which was always odd to me because everybody in my family has bad eyes. You know, my dad wears glasses, or is supposed to wear glasses. He doesn't. My mom does wear glasses. You know, my brother wears glasses. Grandparents on both sides, aunts and uncles. A lot of my cousins, like a lot of people my age and stuff, they don't have glasses, but a lot of the aunts and uncles, the grandparents, my parents, my brother, they all wear glasses, right? So just bad eyesight kind of runs in the family. But for whatever reason, growing up, I always had a really good eyesight, better than perfect, apparently. But over the course of the past couple of years, again, they've gotten worse and worse, no doubt due, at least in part, to the fact that I do YouTube, and of course, I'm sitting here staring at a monitor all day, every day. You know, if I'm not gaming, I'm making videos of games, I'm doing YouTube stuff, and just I'm working. You know, I'm always here behind the monitor, which is not too different than most white-collar jobs in America. So, you know, it's just part of being an adult, I suppose, is like sitting here and staring at monitors and stuff like that. But you know, eyesight has gotten worse over the course of the past couple of years. I have developed astigmatism, which is fun. I inherited that from my mom, apparently. So I have astigmatism in both my eyes now. My left eye is much worse than my right, which is odd because, like, when you go to the eye doctor, they make you do things that you never would do on your own. So essentially, like, they cover up your one eye, and they make your one other eye work on its own, essentially, which is not what the brain wants. The brain wants both eyes to work together, but they would, like, cover up my right eye, and then I would have to do, like, these exercises or try to read certain things with only my left eye. And I had no idea. Like, I might as well be blind to my left eye. I couldn't see a thing. I couldn't make out any words. Like, I was trying to read with them. Like, this is horrible. But then as soon as I open up my right eye carries, like, all the weight, and I can, like, see very easily with it. And it was just, long story short, I have astigmatism in both eyes now. Left eye is a lot worse than the right, and I'm getting glasses, which I'm not opposed to glasses whatsoever. It's just, it's going to be different. It's definitely going to be an adjustment. You know, I'm 24 years old, and I've never worn glasses or contacts or anything like that. And it's a lot different for me compared to somebody like my brother who's had glasses since they were 3 and has lived their entire life with it, you know. So it's going to be a bit of an adjustment. I'm actually kind of excited for it because I'm going to be able to see very well. That's what I'm excited for. Because, you know, like when you're in the eye doctor and they do those like little test things in front of you, like, oh, is this one better or is this one better? Okay, is this one better? Is this one better? Until eventually they have like the equivalent of glasses in front of you and you can actually see. It's like, holy crap, like I can read everything so vividly and everything is so nice looking. I'm excited for that. People say that if you have bad eyesight and then you get your prescription for glasses, it's like going from like 360p to 1080p all the time in real life. That sounds like it's going to be pretty cool. So I'm excited to see what life with glasses is going to be like. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is why Dear Nero did not go up yesterday. I'm sorry if that story bored you, but that's my life right now. I'm getting glasses, and I'm actually kind of excited for it. But without further ado, let's hop into the questions for this week's episode of Dear Nero. The first question, he is going to write, Dear Nero, recently I purchased World at War for my brand new PC. The only problem is I'm finding it very hard to use a keyboard and mouse as I have only ever played consoles. I have had it for about 2 weeks now and I'm still struggling to grasp the movement, especially when I play zombies. Do you have any tips to speed up the learning process, or does it just take time? And how long did it take for you to get good at using a keyboard and mouse for Call of Duty? Keep up these spectacular videos and have a great day. Z from the land of sheep, which is apparently Wales. So Z, you are correct. It does not happen overnight. It actually took me quite a long time to make the transition to a keyboard and mouse because I've been a console gamer my entire life. When I first got into gaming, it was on the Sega Genesis, playing Streets of Rage 2 and, you know, playing Sonic the Hedgehog and stuff way back when. Then, of course, I made the transition to the PlayStation 1, the PlayStation 2, then to the 360, and, of course, the Xbox One. I have primarily been a console gamer my entire life. And so, over the course of the past couple of years, making a transition to PC, because obviously I want to experience stuff that they have on PC, the PC exclusives, higher graphics, graphics, so on and so forth. It wasn't exactly an easy transition. It really wasn't. It took me a long time to actually get used to the idea of using a keyboard and mouse, because I feel as though, this is just my opinion, I feel as though using a controller is pretty universal. I could easily make the transition from a 360 controller to a PlayStation 3 controller. I could make the transition from a Sega Genesis controller to a Super Nintendo controller, or like a Nintendo 64 controller, like very easily. Like, it's not that hard. Like, the idea of using a controller is just second nature to me. Whereas a keyboard and mouse, you have two different peripherals that you're controlling at once. It feels different. It takes a little bit of getting used to. And like you mentioned, it's not going to happen overnight, and it is just going to take time. My advice to you and my advice to everybody else who is maybe trying to make the transition from playing primarily just console to trying to play a little bit of PC is to just take your time and play single player games, right? Don't play competitive online games. Like, don't just hop into CSGO right away while you can barely control your character and expect yourself to have fun. It's not going to work that way, because you're facing other people who are good on that platform, and they're probably just going to dominate you, and therefore you're going to get frustrated, and it's going to be a bad experience. Whereas if you do what you're doing here, Z, if you're playing zombies, you're not really focusing on the fact that you're terrible at controlling your character. You're more focusing on just trying to get to a higher round or experiencing the map, or so on and so forth. That's what I did, actually. That's how I learned to play PC games with the keyboard and mouse. It was the fact that I would play zombies a lot on World at War, just like you do. And what's actually cool about the fact that you have World at War on the PC is you now have the access to a bunch of custom zombie maps that you can download. And there's like thousands of custom zombies maps for you guys to go try, and you don't have to like just be limited to the 4 World at War zombies maps, right? There's thousands of them out there, which I think I'm going to start doing some more custom zombie videos over on Nero's Let's Plays. I was doing a bunch of them for a long time, but I got burnt out on zombies, and so I haven't made a new custom zombie series on that channel in a while, but I think I'm going to get back into that here soon, because I'm on a bit of a zombies kick for whatever reason. But back to your question, Z, all you really need to do is continue to play zombies, and then you'll probably pick it up there. Or maybe try some other stuff if maybe you get tired of just playing zombies. Like, for another example would be Borderlands, Skyrim, Fallout, like RPG games that you basically can either play by yourself or you can play them with other friends in like a co-op environment. That's the best way to learn. Don't try to hop on like Call of Duty's multiplayer on the PC and expect to learn there, because you're not going to do so well, right? If you can barely control your character and you have trouble like remembering where the button is to reload, or if you're sitting here thinking to yourself like, okay, how do I crouch, and it's not just like second nature, then you know, what good are you going to be in the actual online multiplayer? Play zombies, play single player games, and just don't think too much about the fact that you're not very good at it, because it's going to take a bit of time. And then if you just continue to enjoy the games that you're playing, eventually it's just going to become second nature, and you'll just learn it at your own pace, right? That's my advice to you, and that's my advice to anybody who is trying to make the transition from playing like only consoles to playing a little bit of PC. Next question, he is going to write, Dear Nero, with the coming of the Call of Duty movie, I have some worries. If it is bad, it might turn away a crowd of people, thus confirming killing COD. If it is good, it could help the series grow. What is your opinion on the making of the movie? Keep up the great work. Love your vids, and have a nice day. Pedro from Uncle Rico's van. Jeez, Pedro, you guys are so quick on that. So if a Call of Duty movie comes out and it's bad, it's going to kill COD. It's always kill COD with people, I swear. You know, it's never like, oh, COD might have a dip, or, oh, some people might be turned away. It's, nope, COD's dead. You know, people always go right to that, which I think we've gotten to the point in gaming where if you say a game is dead, it just really doesn't hold any weight. Like, there are dead games out there. There are games that literally have nobody playing them. Those are actual dead games. But every single year, people are like, oh, COD's dying, COD's dying. It's like, really? Millions upon millions of people is dying nowadays? I just don't understand it. I don't. Another thing, in Warcraft, right? In Warcraft, they're down to 5 million subscribers. People are saying that game is dead now. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, dead? 5 million people is dead now? Like, that I just don't get what people mean when they say that a gaming franchise is dying. But back to your question here, the idea of the Call of Duty movie coming out, I don't think a bad Call of Duty movie would actually hurt the franchise whatsoever. A good Call of Duty movie is going to make people invested in the series. It's going to make people want to play their games more, obviously. But if the movie turns out to be bad, which I don't know how the movie could be bad, it's just essentially going to be an action movie. If the movie does turn out to be bad, I don't think it's going to turn people off of the series. If anything, all the hype and the lead up to the Call of Duty movie is going to get more people invested in it. I think Call of Duty movie's impact on the Call of Duty games themselves is probably going to have the same amount of impact that like Star Wars Battlefront had on the Star Wars series, right? Star Wars Battlefront is universally not considered to be a very good game. Does that hurt the Star Wars franchise as a whole? No, it's just a bad game. There's a lot of like bad games or bad movies or bad television shows or vice versa. Like these things all kind of intertwine. Like for example, The Simpsons. The Simpsons have come out with a ridiculous amount of games. None of them have been good, except for The Simpsons Hit Run. I would defend that game to the death. I played it a bunch growing up. It was a fantastic game. I also thought The Simpsons Road Rage was really fun growing up, but I digress. Other than that, they came out with some really, really bad games. Has that hurt the show? No. It's just, okay, well, they made a game. Hopefully it's good. Oh, it turns out the game's bad. Well, that stinks. And the same thing's going to happen for the Call of Duty movie. If it comes out and it's bad, then people are like, oh, well, it's bad. Yeah, whatever. We didn't expect it to really be that great anyway. Let's go back to playing the game. It's not going to make or break the game. If anything, it's going to be nothing but a positive for the Call of Duty series, because if the movie is good, it is going to hype up people. It's going to make it so people who've never played the series before are going to want to play it. And if the movie's bad, they're not going to judge the game franchise based on the movie. They're just going to be like, oh, that was a bad movie. Maybe I'll still try out the game, right? If that makes any sense. Next question. He is going to write, Dear Nero, I know that you follow the NFL, so I was wondering, what was your reaction to the St. Louis Rams officially being moved to Los Angeles? I, for one, am a Cardinals fan, so I look forward to finally catching some Rams-Cardinal games in LA. Keep up the great work. Frank from Arizona. So, Frank, this news actually came out a couple of days ago. Holy goodness. I don't even know where to begin. So, they are moving an NFL team. That hasn't happened since I've been a fan of football. I think the last time a franchise moved would be when they originally closed down the Cleveland Browns and they became the Baltimore Ravens. I think maybe, I know Houston just became a team, apparently. I think when the Browns re-entered the league, or something happened along those lines way back when. It's been a very long time, guys. It's been a very long time since anything like this happened. I think it's actually pretty cool. From my perspective, the idea of having the Rams moving to Los Angeles and kind of recreating the Los Angeles Rams, I think it's cool. There's going to be a whole new stadium. There's going to be a whole new crowd. There's going to be all kinds of stuff. It's going to be a lot different than what we're used to, right? It does stink. I think the only people this really negatively affects is actual fans of the franchise. The fans that live in St. Louis, fans of the St. Louis Rams. Unfortunately for them, they no longer have a team. I mean, if they were a fan of the St. Louis Rams, then they'll probably still be a fan of the Los Angeles Rams, or maybe not. Maybe they'll be very upset about the fact that they moved locations and therefore, they won't be fans of that team anymore. I don't know. But I think those are the only people that are honestly really negatively affected by this. I think the majority of people think it's kind of a cool thing because, for example, I play a lot of Madden. It's going to be really cool to be playing the Los Angeles Rams, who might alter their jerseys in one way or another. Who knows? I doubt they will, but they might alter their jerseys. They'll be playing an entirely new stadium, new fans, new merchandise, new everything. I think it's interesting, and I think it's kind of cool that for the first time in ages, a team has actually moved. And apparently the San Diego Chargers have 1 year to make a decision as to whether or not they would also like to move to Los Angeles. So there might be two LA teams, similar to basketball with the Lakers and the Clippers. That would be insane, right? That would be insane if there were two LA teams, whereas before there wasn't any. That'd be nuts. But for me personally, I think it's awesome. And I think the only people that are really negatively affected by this are the actual fans of the St. Louis Rams, or people that live around that area that liked to go to games. Unfortunately for them, they no longer have a team. But yeah, I guess that's definitely a pretty big minority in the grand scheme of things, as to all the other people that think it's probably a really cool thing that they moved to Los Angeles. Next question, he is going to write, Dear Nero, I've been thinking of doing a YouTube channel, something with just funny moments or epic fails of stuff that happens in games. For example, Black Ops 3, Rainbow Six Siege, Gary's Mod, and etc. that me and my friends play. I know there are already a lot of gamer YouTubers who do this, and I might not make it very far with this idea. Of course, depending. What kind of advice would you offer to those who want to be a part of an already mainstream idea? Love your videos and keep up the great work. Trevek, or Aaron from Idaho. So Aaron, my advice for somebody who would want to be a part of an already mainstream idea is it's entirely viable. In 2011 even, which that seems like so long ago when I made my YouTube channel, there was already a bunch of COD channels back then, and yet here I am today. I wanted to make COD videos. I didn't care how many other people were making COD videos. I wanted to make my own COD videos, and that's what I did, and then here I am with NerosCinema, 4 or 5 years later, right? So just follow your passion. If you want to make Call of Duty videos, make Call of Duty videos. If you want to make funny moments in Gary's Mod, make funny moments in Gary's Mod. Do whatever it is you are happy doing. But just I plead to you, Aaron, and anybody else out there who may be thinking about making their own YouTube channel, if you do make a channel and you do decide to make your own videos, don't go into it with the idea that you're going to blow up or that you're going to make a career out of it or anything like that, because the chances of that happening are very slim, right? It's a very hard gig to get into. But if you want to make videos, and you want to make videos for just the joy and the love of making videos, do it. Get into it. There's nothing holding you back. Just go ahead and do it. And if you blow up, you blow up. And if you don't, you don't. Whatever. At least you had the fun of playing with your friends, playing video games, and making videos. That's my advice to you, Aaron. If you want to make Garry's Mod videos or Rainbow Six videos or whatever it is, do it. There's nothing really to stop you. Of course, there's going to be a bunch of other people playing those games. I mean, every single game that exists, there's thousands of channels dedicated to that one particular game, it seems. Like, how many COD channels are there nowadays? How many Fallout channels are there? How many Let's Play channels are there out there? How many Funny Moments channels? How many Minecraft channels? You know, these things are, there's thousands of them, right? There's so many of them, but it doesn't matter. New ones blow up every single day because it's not about the game. It's about the kind of video that you're making with that game, right? That's what it comes down to, guys. Next question. He is going to write, Dear Nero, I was wondering if you play any sports games on your console or PC, and if so, which ones do you play? I love your channel and keep up the good work. Best, John from Connecticut. Oh boy, it's time to plug. John, I do play a lot of sports games. Primarily, I play Madden because American football is my favorite sport, and I actually have an entire Madden series over at youtube.com/NerosLet'sPlays. Once again, that is my other channel, youtube.com/NerosLet'sPlays. Essentially, what we did with that series, which we're over 40 episodes in at this point, is I made a quarterback. His name is Joe Nero. He was an undrafted quarterback from Pittsburgh with terrible stats, and he got picked up by the Washington Redskins, and I've been playing through with them and trying to make him a better player and just trying to get to the Super Bowl, essentially. We did the first season and the second season, and we're currently in our third season. And yeah, it's a very fun series, and I upload to it almost daily over there. We just put up a brand new episode today, so be sure to go ahead and give that a look if you're interested in the NFL. But yeah, I play a lot of Madden on my Xbox One. I like that game a lot. I've always liked Madden. Like, my whole life I've been playing Madden since like 2004. But what other sports games do I play? I used to be really big into the NBA 2K games. I used to really like their My Player mode, which is much better than the Madden My Player mode, and I used to play a bunch of the NHL games, which is, I've gotten like less and less interested in the NHL, and I've gotten less and less interested in the NBA. And in terms of baseball games on the Xbox, I mean, the Xbox has never had a good baseball game. So, you know, I used to play a lot of hockey games and basketball games and football games, but just over the course of the past couple of years, I've basically transitioned to only playing Madden. It's really the only sports game I play these days. But yes, I do play a lot, and there's a series if you're interested in watching it over at youtube.com/NerosLet'sPlays. Next and final question. He is going to write, Dear Nero, if I'm not mistaken, you have an Eagle Vision TSI. What is your dream car? Personally, I'd like a Volvo 740 Turbo Diesel or a Chevrolet Impala. Johan from Sweden. So Johan, you're a bit out of date. The Eagle Vision TSI, got rid of that last year at some point. I now drive a 2002, which isn't very new, but a 2002 Chevy Trailblazer, which is, I like the vehicle a lot. It's very nice here in these Pennsylvania winters, especially. You know, I can get through anything in that thing, especially since I just put new tires on it. But my dream car, and I think I've answered this question before, would be a 1957 Chevrolet Corvette, and I'm sure you guys are going to Google what that looks like, and I think you should, because it's an awesome looking car, very old school, very retro. But the reason why it's my dream car is because growing up, my grandparents were very into cars. Like, if you look at my life now, gaming, like my life revolves around gaming, their life revolves around cars. Like, they own their own machine shop. They're a part of like Dodge Brothers, Romar, something club, that they're very invested in it. They love vehicles, and they gave me like a model 1957 Chevrolet Corvette as when I was a kid, and so I always had this model car in my room growing up. And as a result, I kind of came to love that car because I saw it like every day because it was just there in my room. And so I've always loved that car, and I always thought it was really nice, and I hope to have one in the future. I think that would be pretty awesome, but I'll definitely not drive it in the Pennsylvania winter because that car is not equipped whatsoever to be driving in the snow. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude this week's episode of Dear Nero. I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and if you did, drop me a rating wherever you guys feel it deserves. And if you guys would like to submit your questions for the next episode of Dear Nero, simply send me a personal message here on YouTube. It's a very simple process, guys. Go to my YouTube channel, go to the About section, and from there, you will find a send message button. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Once again, drop me a rating, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.